Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Michelle W. Kofer, and we want to welcome you to our presentation tonight. You have made an incredible decision to say, yes, I'm open to taking a look. You are a homeowner, or perhaps you are thinking about homeownership. Specifically, this call is designed to show you how to leverage your house to create wealth. Many of you don't understand the power of a home. In fact, we pay mortgages, but we don't make our mortgage pay us. This presentation is all about showing you how to stop sitting on your assets, right? Literally, how you have money trapped into your walls of your home, in your backyard, in the basement, and you don't understand perhaps how to get that money out. Maybe you weren't taught how to leverage a house, right? We know that we always talk about real estate being a pathway to wealth, a gateway to creating endless opportunity financially for most Americans, but we don't understand what that means because people will, sometimes get trapped into a mortgage for years upon years, decades even, right? And never understand how to leverage that house to create wealth and opportunity for their family. And so you, first of all, want to just say thank you to the person that invited you to see this, because we're getting ready to show you in just a few minutes, guys, how you can take the very thing that we talk about is your greatest asset and truly make it an asset, right? When you think about what the word asset means, it's something that will bring you revenue, right? It's something of value, something that will create opportunity for income for you. But many of us, we have a house, but it's not creating opportunity for income. We're paying bills, paying a mortgage, we're living in it, we're sleeping in it, and we're inviting family members over and all of that, but we're not making money from the actual physical piece of real estate. And so we're going to talk about that. So again, my name is Michelle W. Kofer. I'm super excited to share this information because, guys, it was eye-opening for me. I grew up in the projects. Nobody ever taught me about real estate, but I knew at 26 years old, I was tired of renting. So guess what I did? Bought a house. I was ignorant, didn't use a real estate professional, but nonetheless, there were some lessons that I learned. One of the things I learned 6 years later when I got ready to sell that house, that there was wealth in real estate. Drop that in the chat. Write it in your notes. There's wealth in real estate. And what do I mean? So when I got ready to sell my first house, guys, I was able to walk away with cash and now went on to get my second house. This time I built it from the ground up. So of course, very, very excited about that. But I'm going to tell you what happened. Life. If you've ever been laid off, unemployed, ever experienced a downturn in your business or work, well, that happened to me. Here I am in my second house. I've lived there not even 6-7 months, right? I get engaged, I get married, I move out of state, but I leveraged the house and put a tenant in it. So I'm leveraging my real estate to make money, right? So I have a tenant in my house. I get to Atlanta, and unfortunately, I was met with 8 months without a job, 8 months without income. And simultaneously, my tenant in my house in Charlotte loses her job. So I unfortunately filed a bankruptcy. And guess what? I still realized, guys, even in the middle of a bankruptcy, that house had so much equity in it that the trustee, despite the fact that people told me you'll never be able to sell a house in a bankruptcy, it's not going to happen. The house had so much equity in it that the trustee allowed me to sell the house. We got multiple offers the first week, sold the house, and the bankruptcy court wrote me a check for multiple 5 figures. Now, I didn't get to keep the house, right? But I did get to keep the cash. Why? Because the house generated wealth. It generated money. It generated income. It was an asset. And so even though financially I couldn't keep it, they had to give me money out of it. There's wealth in real estate. So if you're on this line today, I want you to know that your house is not just a home. Your house is a wealth building tool. And so we're going to show you here in a few minutes, how you can unlock hidden wealth that's just literally in the walls of your home, guys. I'm going to show you today how to transform your home into equity, right? That leads to cash. In America, guys, it's all about this 3-part framework: assets, cash, assets. If you want to be able to do something supernaturally phenomenal in your money, you got to have some assets. You got to have something that's bringing in some income, right? That's generating the wealth. And then once you get that asset, you go and you turn it into cash, and you use that cash to go buy and acquire more assets. That's why real estate is such a lucrative and profitable business. All right, so we don't have a lot of time, guys, but I want to welcome you to this call. I am not a financial advisor, though I am a part of the 75 for All Own Easy community, where our focus is helping people to understand the power of homeownership, creating homeownership equality for 75% of all Americans by helping those families own homes easily, providing the resources that they need. And of course, for you all who are already watching this, you own your home already. So it's all about the financial literacy, right? A lack of financial literacy is costing our country about $436 billion, right, every single year. And so, though I'm not a financial advisor, guys, I am a mortgage loan officer in all 50 states. I own my own tax company. I have owned my own tax company now for almost 7 years. I am a certified credit coach. I've been certified since March of 2018, guys, and I've been helping families all across the country, learn how to look at money different. And so today, this information is certainly for educational purposes and don't constitute it as my legal advice to you. But we want you to know that as a licensed mortgage loan officer, I see people all the time who want to get cash out of their house. And so we're able to talk to you, skillfully talk to you about what you can do. Don't replace this as personal advice coming from your professional. Just understand that this is all about educating you on how your house is an asset. All right. And so, guys, when we start thinking about the home equity in America today, homeowners literally are holding a record of $32 trillion in equity. Right. So real estate as a whole is about a $46 trillion industry. 32 trillion of that is locked into these homes, right? It's locked into single family homes, multifamily homes, into manufactured homes, into condos and townhouses, right? And so when we start looking at, the trends, look at 2000 all the way up to today, guys, and this is not my data. This is federal data. This information is coming from the Federal Reserve Board. So we see that Americans, despite the fact that we have a financial crisis, we truly just don't understand how to get the money out of the places where it's already in front of us, right? It's literally like having gold sitting in front of you and you don't know to touch it because you don't know that it's gold. That's what we're talking about here today. $32 trillion in equity. I want you to look at, how much equity you have in your home. So basically your equity is the appraised value of the value of your home minus what you have left as a balance. And that's going to be where you find your equity. You can simply look up your address on Zillow or Redfin. You can go on to, whoever holds your mortgage, you can go on your portal and you can see how much equity you're holding in your house, guys. When I looked and I saw how much equity was in my house, I said, okay, it's time to do some real estate investing. All right. So, you got to just, guys, understand that this is all about opening your eyes. And so when we think about 32 trillion we're holding in equity, why is it that we still carry as Americans $1 trillion in debt? Credit card debt at an all-time high, right? People are drowning. Student loan debt, though they're trying to fix that, people are just drowning in debt. Think about interest rates. Macy's just sent out notifications last week, guys, that regardless of your credit, the APR is going up. We're talking about 30%. I got a notice from Navy Federal, real story. Got a notice from Navy Federal. I hold several tens of thousands of dollars in credit with them across 3 credit cards, but they sent me out a notice to saying the way they calculate the APR is going up. So quite naturally, I called them, right? I'm like, okay, so this is not telling me what my new APR is. And so the young lady was like, no, ma'am, there's just going to be a new calculation. It, probably won't affect you much, probably $5 or $6 extra a month. And I said, well, that's $5 or $6 extra a month that could be building my wealth, right? And so they will try. When I say they, I'm talking about big business. I'm talking about corporations, the ones that are sucking up our money. They will try to get over on us by increasing and ranking up the interest rates, guys. And so we as consumers have to be educated. So if inflation is trending up, if rates are trending up, what can I do to optimize my own financial situation? And it's, guys, it's the equity in your house. We're holding a record level of equity. So we need to use that equity to be able to eradicate some of our debts, right? And so when you start thinking about consolidating high interest debt, typically that means you bundle all your debts and they're going to make you close your accounts. Traditional consolidation, you're not going to have access to those revolving accounts. And what's going to happen is it's going to drop your score down. But guys, when you consolidate your debt through refinancing, it's going to lead to a substantial savings and literally peace of mind. Think about how many people are stressed about money. How many people are up at night worrying, how are they going to pay the bills? I've been there, literally worrying when they're going to pick the car up. My husband and I both working. I'm multiple degrees I'm working as a social worker, building out programs for the county. My husband's working at the bank, and we're peeping out the window to see when are they going to repossess the car. The undue stress of not having enough money coming in. But guys, you have it. You're sitting on it. You're sitting in your home. It's an asset. So think if you were able to leverage that house to now pay off high interest debt and get, and be able to simplify your finances by bringing all that debt into one payment. Guys, the average American today is sitting on almost $6,200 in just credit card debt. Imagine being able to take that debt, eliminate it. You still have access to it. You eliminated it. Your utilization went down. You raised your credit score. And now you don't have that debt. So you could go out there and invest. You could go out there and put your money somewhere where it's going to grow, right, for you and your family. So being able to have access to cash, guys, is what we all want. When we think about it again, the magic formula to building wealth is cash, assets, cash, right? So you need more of it. You want cash to go out and acquire assets. Those assets become cash, and you get into this cyclical pattern of what to do with money and how to make money work for you. Money is like a current, guys. It moves, but it also magnetizes. So money has to be told what to do because it doesn't have a brain. Well, if you have a house, guys, you can use the equity, the money that's trapped into your walls, the money that's locked down in the basement. You can use that money for home renovations. And what's that's going to do? It's going to increase the value of your home. So it's going to increase the resale, right? You could use it to send your kids to college, to pay off education, right? You can use it for investment. We know that there's a huge opportunity right now to invest, guys. There's still land that you can find in different places across the country for a little of nothing. So you can use that to acquire land, to do other investment opportunities in real estate. Guys, according to National Association of Realtors, homeowners who tap into their home equity often reinvest that into their homes. And guess what? They increase the personal value of the home, but they also increase their personal wealth. Somebody say net worth. Your net worth begins to go up when you understand what to do with the money that's trapped in your home. So guys, quick recap. In America right now, there's $32 trillion in equity being held by you and I, the people who own homes, right? My interest rate on this house is a 2.25%. I was super excited about that until I began to understand, girl, that means nothing if you leave that money trapped in these walls, right? Guys, the average person in America today, they're not living in a house for 30 years. See, that's gone. The days of yesteryears when everybody had a family house, or we went to Big Mama's house, guys, that's over with. The average American lives in their property for about 7 years. And I can tell you right now, I can identify that that's true. Bought my first house at 26 years old. I lived in it for 6 years. I sold it. Next house I lived in for about a year. Told you guys I went through the unemployment. The bankruptcy courts allowed me to sell it. This house I've been in for about 4 years and already have plans on, purchasing a house on the beach. So we're not living in properties for 30 years. Now you could be wise and still leverage that property. Maybe you want to, make it a short-term rental. Maybe you want to Airbnb it. Maybe you want to rent it out. It still can be utilized to generate income. But what we're teaching you guys is you got to understand it's an asset. It's not just a place to live. It's a wealth vehicle. And this is what people have known for years. This is why you have one person that gets a house, and then a year later they got 2 houses, and then 5 years later they have 15 houses, and 20 years later they're sitting at 4,000 doors. It's because they learned how to take one property, optimize the money in that one property to get a second property. And they did that same thing with another property, and it just became a domino effect. Somebody say build wealth in real estate. Guys, consumer debt is up. There is a way to start eradicating your debt without having to go out there and tap into your 401k. I'm not saying anything about touch your retirement money. I'm talking about you can eliminate debt and you can still leave your retirement where it is. I'm not saying go cash out some of your crypto. I'm not saying go get some of your Bitcoin. I'm not saying, even though the stock market is rocky as it is right now, I'm not saying go, liquidate some of your stocks. I'm just saying leverage the house as an asset. All right. Average credit card interest rates right now are between 21 and 22. And like I said, there are some that's even in the 30s. Think about this, guys. A mortgage is the cheapest money you will ever be able to borrow, ever. Think about the average car note, right? People are paying 7-8% or higher on a car note. I've been there when my credit was bad. I was paying Santander 24.8% for my car note. That's horrible. but you're never going to pay 24.8% for a mortgage. So guys, even with interest rates, if they're 8% or 9%, that's still lower than what you're paying on a credit card. Think about what I'm saying to you. Are you hearing me? A mortgage is the lowest interest money you can ever borrow. You go borrow a loan. You go out there and get a loan from anybody. The interest rate is going to be double digits every time. But if you get a mortgage loan, you're talking about single digits in our economy. So guys, don't be afraid. If you're on this line and you happen to, come across this and you're not a homeowner, don't be afraid to buy a house. But I'm talking to those of you today that own a home, because a lot of times people have concerns about refinancing. Well, isn't this going to increase my debt? Listen, when you refinance, you're going to consolidate all of your high interest debt. So imagine that car note, those credit cards, and I'm going to show you a live example here in a second. Imagine all of that now being rolled into your mortgage, reducing the total interest that you're paying out over time. Or if you're that person that's saying, well, is refinancing worth it? Interest rates are on the rise. Guys, even with higher interest rates, refinancing can save you a significant amount of money on a monthly basis. Don't look at interest rate to interest rate. You got to look at dollar for dollar. Look at savings per savings. I'm going to show you, if I can show you how to save $1,000 a month, are you concerned about what the interest rate is? Especially because you're not going to be in this house for 30 years. Are you guys hearing me? These are the realities. Remember when you were shopping for your home, you had a whole laundry list of things you wanted. And ultimately the realtor was like, listen, this is just your first house. You're not going to get everything you want. Guys, that's a true statement. Most people never buy their dream house the first time. So if you're in a house right now, I bet you 10 years from now, you're not going to be in that same house. So leverage the property to create asset. So there's a book I want to highly recommend, guys. This book by Marion Snow opened up my eyes. I literally picked it up and couldn't put it down. And one day I read all the way through chapter 5, because even though I'm in a financial space, even though I'm a financial coach and have been for 7 years, guys, I had never thought about home equity in this way. We're taught pay down your debt, pay off your mortgage. Guys, literally, this house we've been in for 4 years, every single month, I've been contributing an additional $300 to $500 a month to buy down the mortgage. As soon as I read this book, I immediately called and stopped. I'm like, no more extra payments towards the principal balance. Stop it right now. No more. I can take that money and leverage that money to make it grow in an interest-bearing account, guys, so I can get more real estate. My goal is to be a real estate developer. Though I'm a mortgage loan officer right now, guys, I want to have communities with my last name on it. Now, that may not be what you aspire to do, but I want to be able to take the properties that I have right now, liquidate them. And this book opened my eyes to something I had never, ever thought about. So guys, get this book. She don't pay us to refer you guys to her, but it's life changing. So listen, y'all on this call today, you're sitting on a gold mine. If you're watching this, you want to say thank you to the person that shared this, because you're sitting on a gold mine that could be leveraged to create peace of mind and financial security. So I'm going to just show you, because I know sometimes people say people lie, but I'll tell you this, as a tax professional, I can tell you numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie. Let's do some math, y'all. So let's just say right now your mortgage is, $300,000, right? That's what you purchased the mortgage at, interest rate 3.5. Maybe you got lucky during the pandemic. My interest rate is a 2.25%. Guys, we're not going to see interest rates like that no more. But people are holding on to these mortgages because of the interest rate. Let me show you something. Even with an interest rate of 3.35%, I'm going to show you how you can save some money every single month. So let's say you did a 30-year term, right? That's about average. So your mortgage payment right now is $1,347 a month. All right. And so let's just say you got 2 cars. You got a car, he got a car, and all together you guys have about $80,000 in car debt, got a couple of nice vehicles, and you're paying about a 6.75% interest rate. And that's with good credit, right? So assuming credit was bad, we know that the interest rate will be higher. But let's just be modest with this example. You got a couple of cars, you pay those cars for 5 years. And we know some people now are financing cars for 72 months, right? So this, again, is just a modest average. We're going to stick to the low end of what you might have in your home scenario right now, all right? And so between 2 cars, you're spending $1,500 a month. Right? Let's just say you're the average American, you're carrying about $20,000 in credit card. This doesn't have to be one card. Maybe you got 4 or 5 cards, and across those cards, you got about $20,000 in debt. Let's just say between all of those, the average is about 18.9. We know some are going to be higher, some are going to be lower. So let's just keep it in the middle of the road. Okay. 18.9% interest. That means in credit cards in a month, you're spending $518.70. All right. So total monthly expenses, guys, that's $3,440.51. Get your calculators out. Get your calculators out and double check the math as we do this. All right. So right now, no matter what you bring home, you have $3,440 of debt that you have to pay every month. Mortgage, car loans, and credit card. We're not counting utility bills, light bill, all of that. But let's just say your house appraises for $500,000, right? So that's about $200,000 in equity that's sitting in the home, right? So you're going to go out there and, you're going to pull out $100,000 in equity, right? You're going to take $100,000 out. And so now, mortgage, which used to be $300,000 is now $400,000, right? Which used to be 3.5% is now 6.5%. Don't log off. I know you're getting scared right now and the math seems to not be mathing, but just stick with me here, guys. Now you got a higher interest rate. Your interest rate is up 3 points, right? Went from 3.5 to 6.5. My mortgage term started over. I got 30 years again. But remember I said, guys, people don't hold these mortgages for 30 years. So if you're sitting on a mortgage for 30 years, there's a lot of money you're missing out on. But listen, look now. Payment went from $13.47 a month to now your payment is $25.28. You're like, Michelle, this math don't make sense. Let me show you something. Guys, there's no more car note. You're saving $1,500 right there. There's no more credit card debt. You're saving $500 right there. So by, guys, leveraging the equity in your house, you just took your monthly budget from $3,440 down to $2,528.27. You're like, what? Yes, you got $100,000 out. You leveraged that $100,000, and now, guys, in your hand is $912 a month. $912 a month. You can do the calculations. So now we just saved you, even with a higher interest rate, even with a larger mortgage payment, you just saved $912 a month. What could you do with that? If that was going to a high yield interest account, if that was going into a index universal, if that was going towards a real estate project you're working on with a group of friends, or you gotten into a co-op community, $912 extra you have. Could that not be a project that you did? Could that not be something else? Could that not be your retirement money? Like, guys, think about the money savings, right? And so when you leverage your home again, you might want to make renovations. You might want to expand. You might want to add a pool. You might want to create an educational fund, right? You don't have to go out and worry about how is my kid going to pay for college. You might want to start a business or invest in real estate. You might want to finally have an emergency fund, which I would tell you don't do 3 months, do 6 months, do 12 months, because I've been there where my emergency lasted way more than 3 months, okay? 8 months of unemployment, I lost everything. So now I manage my money different. I live beneath my means. Guys, in my community, my house is the second smallest floor plan. I'm okay with that. I don't plan on being here forever. This is not my dream house. My dream house will be custom built. I already know what I want. I know exactly what it looks like, and I know where it's going to be. Okay. But I didn't buy the largest house, even though I could afford it, right? I didn't get the largest house in this community. Why? Because I was thinking about my financial future. That's what I want you guys to take away from this, guys. There are benefits to understanding finances. And when you understanding a refinance, you're able to leverage that equity in your home, guys, by tapping into that. You're able to pay down these high interest debts and create financial freedom for yourself, create a sense of peace. Leveraging this home equity allows you to be able to source funds that you can have without having to sell your home, without risking losing your home, right? And then you're able to restructure your debt. Now, wealthy people go through restructuring all the time. That's what a bankruptcy is. And I'm definitely not telling anybody on the line to do a bankruptcy. I've been there, done that. I hated it, but it brought me to where I am. But guys, this is a way to restructure your debt without negatively impacting your credit score. Because we're talking about leveraging your credit to invest in real estate, to enhance your wealth portfolio, you got to protect the credit, right? And if you're watching this, by the way, and your credit's not where it needs to be, whoever shared this, we have an AI platform that can help you. But restructuring your debt now allows you to consolidate it, rearrange how things are paid, to whom they're paid, guys, but it just simplifies your overall monthly budget. And as you saw, guys, you're saving over $900 a month in just that one example. So guys, you have extra money. It's just locked into your house. And I'm not saying go out there, tap into your retirement. I'm not saying touch your IRAs, touch your Roths. I'm not saying get your 403B. I'm not saying get your 401k. I'm just saying refinance the house. Look at modifying the current loan, guys. And the beautiful thing about this, guys, is that you have tax deductible interest. Mortgage interest is tax deductible. And so you can now reduce your taxable burden and overall liability by leveraging this house. Think about it. People don't understand it. This is why people should be owning a home, because it creates tax shelter. This is why people should be investing in real estate, because it creates tax shelter, guys. All your money doesn't have to go to the IRS. And so when you do this, you do it now. Why do you do it now, guys? Because equity is like monopoly money. It's play money. If the economy changes, what you have in equity right now could go down very quickly. And we're seeing it. Even as we're praying for interest rates to go down in the mortgage industry, guys, that's going to lower your equity. I want you to realize that. Okay. If the interest rates are up, you're going to have more equity in these houses. But if it goes down, you're going to start to lose equity. So that means if you don't take advantage of what's in front of you right now, it goes away. It's monopoly money. It's not even real. It's real if you get it out, but it's not real if you don't tap into it. But here's the thing too, why you got to take advantage of this now is because, guys, if your credit drops, you're not going to be able to do this. You want to make sure that you have at least a 620, because that's what's going to be required for you to refinance. And so, guys, if you're not there and you want to take advantage of a refinance, we got services to help you. But if you're already there, you got a 620 or higher, and you're sitting on equity, guys, you want to take advantage of that. One missed payment just because the job closes down or, things get slow at work could literally send your credit score spiraling backwards. So it's always easier to secure your finances, guys, when you don't appear to need it. Act now. You don't want to need money and then trying to figure out and scramble what to do. You want to take advantage of what is in front of you now. So, guys, I want to thank you for your time. Get back to the person that invited you. This project, 75 for All on Easy, is about simply that, showing Americans how to create home ownership equality for all people, regardless of race, how to teach the things that they don't want us to know, how to show people the way to build wealth through real estate. That's our time, guys. Dr. Michelle W. Kofer out of Atlanta. Please get back with whomever shared this with you and tell them thank you. That's our time, guys, and we'll see you at the top. Take care. Bye-bye.